5 dimensions to a person. There's the mental, there's the emotional, there's the psychological, there's the social, and there's the spiritual. And there is a whole spiritual dimension to life that the Christian community sometimes have a difficult time wrapping their arms around. There is a whole spiritual dimension to life. And one of those events in our lives is that we had made the decision to go to Eastern Europe. When we were there, again, it was communist time, and Yugoslavia was it was known as the graveyard of Eastern European missions. It was just dead. And one of the things our staff team, we were talking about one day, and it just kind of came up, was that how when we left the country, when we literally crossed the physical border, our heads became clear. From the time we were over the border, we could think clearly, we could dream clearly, we planned clearly. And the moment you crossed the border coming back, and the further you drove it, now what was I thinking? What was it? It was like the sun was on, and you came back across, and it was like you walked into a cave. It was cold and musty and eerie. and it was just like this brain fog. And I had that once, and I was sharing it with the guys, and they all said they had the same thing, that there was just this large amount of spiritual darkness there. And we really, really had to work hard as a team not to be overcome by that. And we fought that spiritual oppression on a regular basis with these spiritual warfare prayers, exercising our authority in the heavenlies here on earth. And we went on, and God used us to do ministry there beyond and above what we could have ever thought or imagined. And part of what I learned in Yugoslavia and through much of my ministry life is there is a large degree of mystery to it, and that mystery is often in the spiritual realm. But society very much are a society of engineers and accountants. We build things and we count, and we don't do mystery well. We don't do gray well. And yet what I found is that's much of where we live. And though I like order and I like structure and I like frames and things, but there's a large degree of mystery. And we like to eliminate the mystery, and we like to make things structured and orderly. I have found that a lot of the guys and the friends that I have who've turned away from Christ is because the checklist ceased to work for them. And they couldn't live in the world of mystery. And the Christianity that they knew didn't accommodate a mystery. But one of the key qualifications for use in ministry is that God has come in and humbled you and taught you that He has got to be your sufficiency, and it's not you and what you're good at. He will use you and what you're good at. But I'm looking for strongholds. We all have strongholds. And some of those strongholds are emotional, some of the strongholds are spiritual. There could be a spiritual bondage due to a trauma, due to a lie that we've embraced. There's a number of different things that can happen, and when we understand more clearly that it's just not a mental, emotional thing or physical thing or social thing, that there's actually a spiritual dimension to life, and that there could be a spiritual bondage, how to discern what that bondage is, how to pray and help that person be released from it, and learning to bring that spiritual dimension back in and dealing with allowing God to be mystical. And then He uses that to bring glory to Himself. And in that, people come to Christ and grow.